So, number 7. Okay. So, who loves extreme programming? Yes. So, 2. Woo! Man. Rough crowd this morning. So, so here we go. So, number 7. Parallelized test suites for fast feedback. Okay? And we'll talk about what this one's going to be. This is one of my favorites. This is an easy to do on applying some of the things we've talked about. So, I've got an application. Yes. Okay. And I've got a test suite, okay? But here's where the problem lies. So here's my application. You guys can see the Jenga blocks, right? And it's a big application. So here's a test, here's a test, here's a test, here's a test. What's going on with these tests? What do you think's happening? What do you think's happening with these tests? Tests, oh my goodness, look at all those tests. It's a big app, maybe application got a little bit bigger. How about those tests? What's going on there? What do you guys think about my test suite? You guys can see it, right? I'm doing it there. Woo! Regression. It's awesome. Now, what do you think the problem is? Is there a problem on the table?
You're going to run out of room.
I'm going to run out of room, but here's what I'm going to run out of time. Because guess what? Imagine this test suite. So these are independent tests that run sequentially. When I deploy my application to my test environment, I run the test. Let's say that these tests, real life from a team I just happened to bump into in the office a couple weeks ago, they said it takes us over 2.5 hours to run our regression test suite to go through all these. So basically they run the regression tests once or twice a day. And the reason I mentioned Who Loves XP, one of the key technical practices I learned about when I learned about XP was the 10-minute build. Meaning that I can build and test my code in 10 minutes or less so I get fast feedback. So here's where this should evolve to. Here's your practice. Remember we talked about those 0-bit deployments, right? So here's what I want to do. Every time I make a code change, here's what's going to happen. We're going to deploy our application, but instead of deploying it once, I'm going to deploy it 4 times. So I'm going to deploy 4 instances of the same application to unique environments. Maybe they're in containers, maybe it's a stack that I build as a 0-bit deployment, but now instead of 1 instance of the application, I have 4 of them. And then what do you think I do here? Yeah, I can run the tests in parallel. So I can run a few here, I can run a few against this instance, I can run a few against this instance, and since these now all run in parallel, okay, guess what? I can now run this build a lot faster. Yeah, and so this is an easy one again. If you're deploying your application to a container, this is easy. This is the type of thing that you can set up in a couple hours and go from having a 2.5-hour regression test run down to having a 10-minute regression test run, because I deploy 4 instances, and then I just have to segment, or I have to partition out my test suites. But if I've written stateless tests, where each of these tests all dependencies are within the test suite, I can easily do this. So benefits of this. Truly, how do we get back to the 10-minute build from XP? So we can build in 10 minutes or less. Again, I've observed teams, I've even seen teams that have ceremonies of waiting for the tests to finish. Like, hey, we're waiting for our test to run, so let's have a retrospective. That's actually not a bad idea. I like that personally. But again, we're having to wait because of a technical dependency that infrastructure can fix for us. And more frequent testing, better quality product. So this idea, if you're saying, I only run my regression tests twice a day because they take 2 hours to run, this is for you, okay? And you want to talk about, the details of how to do it, tech and tools. There's both open source, build your own, or even vendor product that will do this for you.